Welcome to the Marketing Revolution podcast. This is the underground movement of savage marketers from all over the world. We are not Fortune 500 companies. We are real entrepreneurs with real businesses that have one major thing in mind: to set goals and devour them daily. Because we understand that everyone wants to eat, but only savage marketers are willing to do the hunt. Now let's get this revolution started. Hey, what's happening, everybody? John Hiley here with the Marketing Revolution podcast. I'm going to be bringing y'all today what I feel is going to be a great episode. I think there's going to be a ton of value here. And in all honesty, it's kind of like a glimpse into the future of marketing. And I'm going to try to lay it on you guys and structure it in a way that you guys are going to understand. You're going to be able to move forward. You're going to be ahead of the curve. You're going to be able to just rip your competition apart when you understand these principles, and more than anything, you actually apply the principles, okay? It's not enough just to understand. You got to get out there and do the work, all right? You're responsible for that, not me. I can bring the message, but you got to do the work, all right? So now that we got that out the way, I'm going to ask you guys, anybody listening to this podcast, I'm going to do a little roundup here, y'all. If you guys get any value at this over this show at all, if I bring some value to your life, if I make your life better, I'm going to ask that y'all pay a fee, okay? And that fee is going to be leaving me a review and recommending the podcast, all right? I'm not going to clutter this podcast with a bunch of garbage type ads. I'm not going to make you sit here and listen to me talk about a product that I'm trying to sell. You know, I'm not going to do them kind of things. If anything, I'm going to give you guys more value from this podcast than you can ever imagine. And the one way that you guys can repay me for bringing this value to the table and basically just cutting the shit, you know what I mean? And getting straight to the point and actually teaching you guys things rather than telling you all these random stories that I'm trying to lead you in or bait you into buying a product from me, okay? I mean, I'm not going to do that, right? So if at some point I create a course or something like that, I'll let you guys know, but I'm not going to sit here and ramble on over and over and over for hours or even for minutes about it. You know what I mean? It's just not what I'm going to do, okay? So that being said, please take the time, jump on iTunes. You just search the podcast Marketing Revolution, click on the icon, and then scroll down, and you'll be able to leave a 5-star review. Let me know what you guys are thinking, and I will be doing review giveaways in the future, guys. So, guys and gals. So I want to be able to do some cool things. I might even be giving away some of the I Am Marketing t-shirts that's so popular. They're cool as fuck, you know, they look good, they're black and green, man. They're just a dope t-shirt that you've never seen before, all right? So look, coming into this podcast, I'm going to talk about something super, super important in the realm of marketing. And the reason why it's so important is because ideally, all of the platforms that people are searching for your services are focusing on this, okay? And it makes sense. I'm going to try to explain exactly why. And what everybody's focusing on now, which is actually, I totally agree with this. All right, I totally agree with this, is user experience, okay? So I'm going to go through this part of the podcast, and I got a little bit of a rant that's going to kind of follow up with the user experience. So, but here's what I want you guys to understand. For the longest time in history, okay? I know we're going back into the 1900s, the 1800s, right? If you have a little store in your village and you fuck somebody over, the whole town would know about it, okay? If you had a service-based business of some sort, I don't care what it was, if you were the milkman, all right? If you didn't do your job properly, you didn't show up on time, people would know about it, and another milkman could go in there and take your job or take the customers. You could lose your clients and lose your customers because somebody's doing it better, okay? And then we got into this weird time where corporate America took over and the economy became so big with global advertisement. You know, they're able to run ads on TV and all this kind of stuff. And they started fucking us over on the consumer experience, okay? And there's still big companies that are doing that, all right? I want to say AT&T would be a big company that does that. Very hard to get any type of response on a phone call. very hard to get issues resolved. I know people that have dealt with nightmares with them. I would say Verizon Wireless, a cell phone company, be the same way. I've seen them literally wreak havoc on people's life, and I'm telling you that these companies are going to pay a price eventually. They may not see it today, but they're going to pay a price, and what they're doing is they're taking a hit on a level where, the biggest thing is, and I think I may have talked about this on one of the other podcasts, is literally now it's at the point where your grandmother can click a button and tell everybody she knows that this company is a shithole company and they're horrible and they're bad to do business with. We're living in a realm right now where online reviews are literally charging forward, okay? Everybody wants to read the reviews before they purchase something. So in this day and age, consumer experience is very, very important, because there was a time when these big companies could fuck us over, or even smaller companies in a big city could fuck one person over and it wouldn't matter, because they got the whole city to sell their services to, right? So we're going back to this little town environment where literally your reputation is on the line every time you do any type of repair work for anybody, or you sell any type of product, any type of service. All that stuff is pretty much under scrutiny now at this point, okay? So you literally have to, in real life, focus on delivering a great consumer experience. And it can't even be good anymore, because if it's good, then it's just average. Most people are good, okay? Very, very few are great. And I'm here to tell you guys, the future is going to be in the hands of the great. It's going to be in the hands of the people that know how to put together a experience that exceeds the perceived value of the client, okay? Now, that's key. It exceeds the perceived value. There's difference between value and perceived value. In the online marketing realm, a t-shirt has a high perceived value. It has a value of $29 if you market it right and you wrap it up. And I was just talking about a t-shirt earlier. But in all reality, I can get t-shirts printed all day for $6. But it has a high perceived value, okay? So, and that being said, that's something that could be given away to somebody who they would feel that has much more value than what it actually costs, okay? So there's a high profit margin on clothing in general, just to let you guys know that. So, but there's a whole mess of other issues when you get into selling clothing, and I've been there, and I've done that. I don't like it. If I was going to sell it now, I would be buying bulk and drop shipping, likely. But that being said, I am going to be dropping some of them t-shirts on the podcast and giving them away for people who write reviews. So, that's it. I'm giving you guys a reason to do that. I'm giving you guys incentive, okay? With a product that has a high perceived value. Good quality stuff, okay? And I'm talking about a $6 shirt, guys. Good quality. I could get $3 shirts of that crap that's out there, but why would you want to put a $3 shirt on somebody's back they're only going to wear once? You know what I mean? The value to me is not only in having something that's high perceived value, but also the value to me is having people out there wearing my stuff, supporting my brand. Every time you look in the mirror, you get a chance to remember that, Uncle John's over here doing a podcast every week for you, okay? So that being said, I want to go into why the future is going to go to content creators as far as the online realm goes. Everybody's shopping online. The phone book's gone. Everybody's doing reviews. Places like Amazon.com are taking out places like Toys R Us. I mean, I'm not 100% sure that they took them out, but you know what I'm saying, right? Literally, people are much, much more comfortable with everything about the online experience. Shipping has become faster. There's instant gratification. I would rather have a TV shipped to me than actually carry that motherfucker out of my car. In that regard, it becomes even more convenient, all right? And cheaper. And, there's just so many things that are all going towards online, all right? So here's what I want you to think about when we're talking about Google and we're talking about, I'm just going to talk about Google. I don't even want to mention some of the other search engines. We'll talk about Google. We'll talk about Facebook as well as being a social sharing platform. That gives me two kind of contrast type things, but they're kind of all doing the same thing, okay? And literally what that is like if you're running ads on Facebook, They will score you based on your relevance. They will literally put a score down based on your relevance, and the more relevant you are, or let's just say the more you provide a great user experience for their users, meaning the ads are talking directly to the users, and the more basically the higher score that you get, that you're relevant to them users, the cheaper the ad is. All right, that's how much Facebook values delivering a user experience on their platform. Okay. I mean, that's why the pixel was created, which is like a little, if you guys don't know what a pixel is, it's a little tracking code that will literally, once you visit a website, if it's got the Facebook pixel, I can retarget ads and send them to you based on coming to my website. You guys have seen that on Amazon.com where you looked at things and you went over to Facebook and then boom, they're there, right? So, but that is delivering a consumer experience, all right? So ads are coming now to consumers based on their likes and interest, all right? So that's what everything's focusing on that, right? There was a time on the internet where everything was like, just throw as much shit out there and see what sticks. Now is not that time, all right? There was a time that you could really game the system and get in on your website platform and put all of these keywords down at the bottom of your website and stuff every image with keywords and stuff the whole thing with all these keywords everywhere. You're getting penalized for that now. All right? Because Google doesn't give a shit about how many keywords you put on your website. Google gives a shit about the user that's actually using their platform and searching, getting connected with something that's relevant to their search. And that's why I agree with it. All right? So you got to take focus off of the guerrilla warfare techniques that we used in the past. The stuffing, the creating multiple pages full of just keyword-packed shit that doesn't deliver any value to a client and customer. Now, you can be intelligent about it, all right? But you got to be thinking about offering solutions, all right? So one of the things that I've been doing lately is blogging. If you don't notice, most of the time when you search for something on Google, they're pretty much putting blogs to the very, very surface, to the very top of everything, okay? And there's reasons because they literally have the consumer experience is very high on a blog, okay? So usually when you're searching something, you want to read a blog or a video as well, all right? So that's a couple different ways that the user experience, you want to focus on your user experience. Now, when I talk about still using relevant keywords, you might want to do something like, okay, so if you have a auto body shop, you might want to do something like auto body repair in Centerville, Ohio. Let us show you how our experience counts or something like that, okay? Or use your USP or your unique selling proposition, okay? Put together something there that's unique that you can give the client and customer, something that's out of the box, something that's educational on why they want to use you. Couple it with a video. Couple it with a nicely written blog, okay? Actually spelling out why exactly they need to be using you. Couple that thing with a nice image that displays exactly something of whatever message you're trying to convey to the client and customers, something that displays that, something that's relevant, okay? Make it match, literally, make the title match, the blog's got to match the title, the video's got to match the title, everything's got to be relevant to create that trust between you and your clients and your customers, okay? So you're taking them through a user experience. And what you're doing here is you're going to find there's three types of people, okay? There's people that will want to visualize something. There's your image, okay? There's people that want to see it and hear it, okay, which is an audio, which we YouTube video, right? And then there's people that actually want to read it, and I don't understand these people, and I do read, of course, but I'm usually looking for a video. Sometimes I feel like I don't have time to read. I'm a fan of Audible, right? I listen to it all the time, listen to podcasts, stuff like that. You know, I'm a lot like you guys, right? But above and beyond that, there are people that love to read. They want to see some good written content. And that's it, man. That's what you want to create. You want to create your landing page on Google. Number one, it's got to be fast. Again, they're focusing on the user experience. They want users to be able to click on that website and bam, immediate gratification, okay? Now, the other things you need to do, you need to make it much, much easier for your clients and customers to gain an estimate and get in touch with you, schedule an appointment, All of these things are really relevant because getting them to your website's number one. Actually getting them to do the call to action or do exactly what they want to do when they're in your website is the absolute key, okay? So you got to get them there, and you got to get them to do what you want once they get in there. And how do you do that? You do that by offering an experience. You do that by offering value. You do that by surveying your market and finding out what others are lacking and capitalizing on that. And then actually being honest with yourself, just honest with yourself to the point where you can look at, what the fuck am I lacking? We're all lacking something. But until you can open your mind to say, I'm not perfect, and, I want to look at this in an overall sense, okay? Then you're never going to move forward. I see so many people that get stuck in their own head, get stuck in their own ideas, and literally it blinds them. Like there'll be people that they'll be doing things that just they're not working, and you can see why they're not working, but they're not open-minded enough to understand that I may love this idea, but nobody else loves it because they're not giving me any money. Okay, that's your indicator. That's when you got to shift and change. All right, an entrepreneur is always shifting, always changing, always moving, always reinventing, always getting excited about these changes. Sometimes you're getting angry excited, like I get sometimes. Sometimes I get so excited, I'm like fueling. I'm like ready to just get out here and just rip shit apart like first thing in the morning. I'll wake up and I'll lay there in bed for 30 minutes just thinking about how I'm ready to steamroll anybody who stands in front of me. And that being said, if I get steamrolled by somebody, then I fucking deserve it. All right? They won at that particular moment, okay? That's the key. That's the key, is to understand, right? Everything, you got to look at it like battles, but you're trying to win the war. You know what I mean? And you guys don't think you're in competition. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. I mean, you can join that crowd that, gives away 10th place trophies and participation awards and all that shit that we're teaching our kids, that literally when they actually get out in the real world and get kicked in the teeth the first day from their boss, they're going to run into the bathroom and cry, maybe go home and eat a fucking whole jug of Haagen-Dazs ice cream. That's just a bunch of bullshit. All right? Literally, we're in competition, not only probably the most people are in competition with themselves, number one, but you're in competition with everybody around you. Literally. Think about it. Who doesn't want to become the best? Who doesn't want to become bigger? Who doesn't want to become better? All right? Deep down inside. I know if you're listening to this podcast, you do. I can't understand other people who don't, but I really think that, in all honesty, if they're not doing something with their life, and I'm not tying this all in with money, okay? Because do I think the Dalai Lama is doing something? Of course I do. All right? Do I think a Buddhist monk in a temple? Of course I do. That's a life choice, man. They're in pursuit of something, right? But the key is that pursuit of something is going to take the discipline needed to create the happiness. So it doesn't matter what you're going towards. I truly believe it's the discipline to get your ass there that's going to make you happy, all right? So I know I'm ranting a little bit here, but I'm going to actually start ranting now. So I had a guy contact me a while back, and he told me that I was stealing his customers. We had some sort of business thing going on. He needed to basically do some things to get one of his customers over to me. And be honest with you, since then, his attitude's changed, and I'm not hating on the guy at all, because I think a lot of people are under this idea. They're actually under this idea that your customers can be stolen. That's the biggest fucking cop-out that I've ever heard in my life, okay? And I'm going to give you guys a few reasons why that is, all right? So literally, number one, you can't steal something that is not owned. You can't steal something that you can't own. You don't own your customers. So because you can't own it, you can't steal it. Do you see what I'm saying? That is such a false statement. And it makes people look so ridiculous to say that. That's such a victim type of statement, okay? That somebody is stealing your customers, all right? Number one, you can't steal something that you can't own, okay? So nobody can steal my customers. I can lose them because I suck, or I can lose them because somebody's kicking my ass. Of course. But you know whose fault that is? That's not the person's fault that's kicking my ass. That's my fault because I'm letting my ass get kicked and I suck. I have to take that personal responsibility before I can actually open my mind enough to take a look at what I'm doing on a daily basis to let this shit go on. But until you accept that, until you accept truth, you're just going to keep on doing the same shit over and over again, and you're going to play the victim, and you're going to look stupid, and you're going to go broke, okay? So if you're out there thinking somebody's stealing your customers, I can hear somebody right now going, well, John, this guy comes in, he's lowering his price, and, this guy, he's doing this. No, man, that's an excuse too. Because if your clients and customers are willing to leave you for the first guy that lowered their price, then you're working at the bottom, man. You're literally working at the bottom with the bottom feeders. You know you're there. You knew it was going to happen, but you stayed there anyway. Okay? So get that through your head. If you haven't give your clients and customers a reason to stay with you above and beyond price, then you done fucked up anyway, man. You didn't create that user experience. You didn't create enough value in the mind of the people that you're working with to say, no, man, you can't come in here and do that. I'm not going to get rid of Joe for $20. I'm not going to get rid of Jack for $100. You kidding me? Do you know what Jack's done for us? I want you guys to let that sink in, okay? Because there's a lot of people doing mediocre shit, running mediocre businesses, that you put somebody like me in front of them, I'm going to murder you. Let that sink in. I'm going to find your weaknesses. I'm strategically going to look for things that would mentally kill you. And I'm going to deploy everything that I have to win. So I want you guys to get that in your head today, because business isn't about being a nice guy. Business is about being moral and following a moral code, but about being a nice guy to your competition. Now, I get it. There's alliances, stuff like that, right? I get that, right? And that's not a bad thing to search for that. I got friends, you know what I mean, in the business. I got friends that I wouldn't walk in and take their business because I respect them. But I guarantee you I have more people that I would do that to that are not my friends at all, okay? So keep that in mind, guys. Keep that in mind. And some of these podcasts are going to be a wake-up call, because I'm so sick and tired of hearing the same thing over and over and over again. And just, to be honest with you, it pisses me off, because y'all have more potential than that. Any of y'all who think like that have more potential than that, okay? And you know what, though? If everybody just kept quiet around you their whole life, all right? If everybody just shut their mouth, and when you walked up and said, I had another customer stolen, and this guy's coming in and doing this, and you're playing the whole victim game, everybody just shuts up and shakes their head. Is that really a friend? You know what a friend does? A friend tells you to shut the fuck up and tells you that you're wrong. That's the type of friend that I want in my life. The other people, they're a dime a dozen. Iron sharpens iron, my friend. Okay? So if you're hanging around a bunch of bunny fluff, if you're hanging around a bunch of fluffy fluff, you're not no friend of mine. All right, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you for taking the time to listen to the Marketing Revolution podcast. If you know somebody that needs this message, please share it with them. Please write us a 5-star review on iTunes or Stitcher. And remember, everybody wants to eat, but only savage marketers are willing to do the hunt. I look forward to seeing you on the next one.